Ready?
Podcast, podcast, podcast with Cass and Dom. The push. What's up, everybody? And what's up, Cass? What's up,
What's up,
Hefe?
man?
How you doing?
Good, brother. Good, brother. How about that award-winning entrance music that we just debuted for everybody? It's a debut every week because it's always a new version.
You were subtle on the bass this time for my benefit.
Well, I got told by the
appreciate it.
producer came in my ear before we got on the air. It was like easy on the bass. So,
But enough about us, man. We're here with a special interview. We haven't been doing an interview in a while now,
in a
and
couple weeks, we took a little bit off.
but we're back with a big one. I am very happy to introduce, welcome to the show, Emil Jay. Thank you so much for joining us today and for coming onto the podcast, letting us talk with you.
Hey man, thanks for having me on. Like your special intro music gave me super Edge and Christian 5 second pose era vibes.
That's exactly what we're going for.
I really was a big fan of them. I had their yellow shirts that said totally reeking of awesomeness or
Yes!
whatever the fuck.
That's
right?
awesome.
It was like a fake Hulk Hogan style.
Yeah, and that's when wearing like yellow shirts wasn't cool, in that era, Like,
They were
I
so
can buy
awesome.
anything Edge. Edge lives here in Asheville, where I'm at now. So every now and then you bump into him, like at a movie or like getting something to eat. So that's always a fun little thing to do in town. It's like Where's
oh,
Waldo?
hey,
Keep
Edge.
your eye out and just look for Edge, and you might see him.
Look out for the WWF Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
incredible. He loves it up here because he just blends in. Like nobody knows he's there. People just treat him like everybody else. It's a nice little hideaway. It's like Andre the Giant when Andre the Giant went to North Carolina.
Oh, in this vineyard? Didn't he have like a vineyard there or something?
Yeah, Andre lived kind of out towards Charlotte and like Ellerby, and he had like a vineyard ranch kind of thing that he went to, and he said it was the only place he could get away to that nobody treated him like he was a celebrity.
Yeah, that
Very
was
topical.
like his little place of tranquility.
Yeah, so Asheville's very similar, apparently, where he can just hide and be himself. So
I always wanted to take that visit and take that drive down to Cameron on that road where it's just owned by the Hardys and it's all of Jeff's art just like strewn across the road.
I haven't even been down there. I don't go to that part of the state too often. It's a little far for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like 5 hours, man. Like long. It's long. North Carolina's a long drive if you go from east to west or west.
Yeah, but I'm weird like that. I live in Philly and I like driving down to like the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and I know that inland is a little bit, it's another like 5 or 6 hours.
That's like a 6.5 hour, 6 hour drive for me.
I know, but I'm weird like that. I like just random long drives for roadside art.
I can get to you almost in the same distance as it would take me to get to the Outer Banks.
That's wild to me, but we're talking too much about us, man.
We
need to talk about Emil Jay. What's up, dude? Thank you again.
Man. This is my dude. I'm glad you got on, man. I'm excited about this one.
Emil, you've been in the business for a long time. You made a name for yourself with CZW, which is right in my backyard in Philly, and right in your backyard. You're Philly adjacent by the shore now in Jersey,
yeah.
But now you've gotten away from that, and you're doing your own thing now with both Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, and you're also involved with another promotion, VXS, correct?
Yeah, Violence and Suffering, man. That place, like they've had 2 events so far. Both of them have been bangers. They do Fight TV, the live stream, and I've been lucky enough to do commentary for their events with Nick Gage, which is a blast. Because Nick Gage is like, I've been, working with him off and on for, a long time. Like I remember, like we've been friends for, because like I've been in the business going on 12 years now. Come November 22nd, I believe is the date, will be 12 years.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming soon. And I remember one time I had to pick up Nick Gage from the airport at CCW. He was coming in from Florida at the time, and I was, just like kind of getting started in the business. I had, you know, uh, done some camera work for student shows for CCW, and just been around helping set up and flyering. And on this day, I was tasked with picking up Nick Gage from the airport, and we from that day we just became cool because we had a nice conversation in the car, and ever since then, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're that guy," and then it became more than, "Oh yeah, you're the," and then it was like, "Oh shit," and now like I do his little introduction thing, and that drives the crowd crazy.
Bro, that crowd gets hot when he comes out, man. That's one of the most fun things to be in and be around too,
Oh,
and to see. It's fun.
I fucking love it. And the craziest thing is like, like I kind of added to it a little bit like over time, but like I just kind of winged like the first time that I did like kind of the style of intro that I do for him, like in the cadence and everything. Like I just I winged it. Like I just like freestyled it, and I was like, man, like
That's what we
that
do. Yeah.
sounded I was like, that sounded pretty cool. Like, I think I'm gonna do it that way every time. And then it like caught on, uh, and I like that's my favorite thing, honestly, to do. Like, but unfortunately, he's hurt, so he can't wrestle. So, but I get to do commentary with him at Violence and Suffering.
How
Uh,
long? What happened to him? I can't remember. What I was going to ask you about that. What? When did he get hurt, and how long is he out
he
for? Do you remember, or do you know?
Uh, he got a leg injury. I don't remember whether I think it's a knee. He got like one of his like one of the ligaments. He got all twisted up at the Beyond Wrestling show over the summer in Atlantic City. Um,
Yeah.
just like in a freak sort of thing. His leg kind of got caught in a weird angle, and boom, there you go. Imagine
Yeah.
all the shit that he goes through, all the shit that these guys do, and then you can get fucked up on something that's really nobody's fault.
Yeah. How long is he? How long is he going to be out for? Do you know?
That I don't know. Like because honestly, 'cause the last time I asked him, I forget what he said, and I forget how long ago it was. So,
Yeah,
uh,
that happens.
yeah, it's one of those situations like where it's been too long since I've had that information ready in my head to just have it readily available.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love what you guys do, man, with him at Game Changer, man. That's one of my that's probably my favorite independent promotion to watch. I usually watch everything they do on Fight. I don't
Oh,
miss
it's
one of
great.
those. Yeah, it's great stuff, man. I was really
It's
wanting to go up to the Collective in Indianapolis. Dom and I had kicked it around. It didn't work out. That week was just a bad week for me. I had a closing on a house, and it didn't happen until like the next week, so I wasn't able to get up
mhm.
there. I had too much shit going on, but maybe next time they do something, I'll be able to travel and check it out.
Yeah, and for what I was going to go out there, but with my situation, it just wasn't going to work out for COVID concerns,
Yeah,
uh, and for what it's worth, I'm kind of happy I didn't go because it's risky,
yeah,
not necessarily from the event specifically, but just being in that general area with that's kind of outside of your little, because like down here in Atlantic County, like it's kind of been chill for a while.
yeah.
um just That's just how it's been. But if you go out to a place where it's kind of been spiking just in general, like yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, and there
a
was
red flag.
a bunch of people did get it from the event too. So your concerns
Yeah,
were kind of warranted. So
yeah. and you know,
But they
not
did
just,
everything right
but
too, from what I heard. So
yeah,
it wasn't really their
yeah,
fault. It just, you can't really stop it. It's gonna be one of those things. People are gonna get it, and it's gonna spread. But they did
yeah.
what they.
But
I
what I'm
think they
saying
did
is
everything good.
like, it could be from a restaurant, a
Mm-hmm.
hotel. There's
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot of people coming from a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Going to so it's just one of them things where uh I'm like I really did want to go there, and I tuned into as much of it as I could, uh and a lot of it, what I saw was great. It
Yeah.
would have been an awesome time to be out there, but better safe than sorry in these times.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind doing wrestling shows. Obviously, I've been, I'll be going to H2O last extravaganza, Matt Tremont's final match, his retirement match with Ricky Shane
Nice.
Page tomorrow night.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
On
Yeah, I saw that
That's tomorrow
advertised.
night.
And that's one of the very few things that I've seen where I'm like you in the sense that I don't want to risk it, man. I want to stay at home and be safe until this is all under control. But I saw that advertised and I was like, oh, and it's so close and it's outdoors and I wanted to go, uh,
Yeah.
but that's cool. You're going to get to go to that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, Tremont himself asked me if I could do some commentary on that match as being his final match. I said yes, absolutely, because
That's awesome.
I honestly I wanted to do something. Like, I wasn't about to ask him if I could be involved. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, because I feel like that's a weird thing. But like, I was like, man, I like. Uh, if anybody hears this and would like to tell him that I would like to be a part of it, you know what I mean? It was one
Right.
of
Yeah.
those type things.
Not directly,
Like,
but just put it out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all can drop a hint if y'all want, but like, because I was saying that to like a couple people after this one show. But then, like, a few minutes later, he came out to me, like, like, because he was coming from a complete different direction. He's like, "Yeah, man, like, yeah, RSP is gonna be my last match. Like, uh, if you like, are you gonna be here?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "You want to do commentary?" I was like, "Yeah, man, absolutely."
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I'd be privileged to, because like,
He's a legend.
man,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, I've been around, like, I've seen it for almost since the very beginning, almost. So we've had a lot of we've shared the ring in a lot of big moments, big matches for me to announce, and a lot of big matches for him to be in. So it's gonna be cool to do it one last time, uh, to
Yeah, absolutely.
lend a narration to whatever brutality is being served up. 'Cause I know it's gonna be vicious. Him and RSP don't play. Uh,
And plug it again. Where is that going to be tomorrow night or tomorrow?
that's gonna be Williamstown. It's sold out
Yeah.
already, but it's gonna be at the H2O. Well, it's going to be at the Kevin Hogan Memorial Hall at the H2O Wrestling Center at 1041 Glassboro Road in Williamstown, New Jersey. Um, and since it's sold out, obviously, if you don't have the accommodations already and you can't be there, you can check it out on IWTV. It's going to be on a live stream. And
Nice.
it's also going to be the first round of the Danny Havoc Deathmatch, Danny Havoc Memorial Deathmatch Championship Tournament. It's going to be a 2-night event, Friday night and Saturday night.
Oh, cool.
And there's also going to be a bunch of non-tournament matches. It's going to be a crazy show. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to get out of hand.
That sounds
Um,
awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like
yeah,
it, man. But that's
and
that's a beautiful thing that you get to, because I feel like to provide commentary and to be able to provide the color for all the people that can't be there, especially now with COVID, of all times, for such an iconic show. That
yeah,
really is it's an important gig. It would be one thing for him to say, "Oh, I'd love you to be at ringside so you can be a part of it. Here, ring the bell." But
Right.
to be able to put your stamp on it in such a unique and such an important way really says a lot to what he thinks about you, you know?
I mean, you're part of the match now, basically,
Yeah.
because anybody that's watching the match is going to hear you. So you are in the match. That's a huge honor, man. That's awesome. It's real
Yeah, it
fucking
sure
awesome.
is. And I'm really happy that he asked me to do that, and I'm more than happy to do that. I've been thinking about it for a long time. For not a long time, but these past couple of weeks, it's been on my mind. It's like, man, uh, he's really gonna go out in a blaze of glory. It's it's his own promotion. It's his building. It's his. He's going out on his terms. So it's gonna be a big celebration. That's why we're calling it the last extravaganza. And just to be part of it is in an official way is going to make it even more fun for me. So it's going to be a celebration, no matter how
Yeah,
brutal it looks. That's the way they want it. These
I was
guys
gonna
are
say
sickos.
yeah,
They're
that's
how
how it
else
should
sickos.
be.
yeah, how else could it go for a legend like
Yeah,
that who's made such a unique living or such a unique legend of himself with that type of a living?
Is he going to continue doing his shows, or is he just, or is he
oh
stopping
yeah,
doing that too? Okay, so he's just not wrestling. He's going to continue doing the promotion and stuff, right?
oh yeah. He's got a full slate of shows. I mean, I feel like he's running almost. I feel like it's almost every 3 weeks or so.
Oh shit,
Um,
nice.
yeah, between he's got so every other Monday they've been doing the Undiscovered series, which is basically to put it in terms that I know is like basically the H2O version of Dojo Wars. Uh, so they have that every other Monday, and then they have their quote unquote main shows, and then they also have events where it's sort of like rookies versus vets, where it's like they're young guys against established guys, and that's like a separate thing where it's called like pay. It's like called like pay your dues or whatever. Those events are typically called that. So like they have a bunch of different things going on kind of all at once, making it work. And they got a good program going on there. And the kids are all real good, man. Like in terms of what they're doing in the ring, and in terms of how they act outside the ring too. They all seem like real good folks.
That's good,
Not a
man.
lot of fuck ups.
Yeah, dude, that's important now because, well,
Yeah,
not to say that it shouldn't always be important, but for a promoter and for people that are investing in these young talents at such a young age, that's something that they need to be more mindful of now is how they present themselves on Twitter, on any kind of social media, just when they're out in public or at the bar. It's maybe something that
yeah.
promoters didn't have to think so much about 10, 20 years ago, but now it could kill a promotion just to invest time and money into somebody for even a short period of time and have it all go wrong because of independent actions of that person.
Yeah, and not just that, but they put out the time and effort, and they're doing the drives, as they say. They're putting out the effort, and they show their hunger. They're not like slouching about. Like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is what I do. No, they're going out there and getting it, man. Like, they're good folks. They're motivated. So they're not worried about all this other bullshit. They're worried
Okay.
about doing their thing, and getting some eyes on them, especially during this time
Yes.
where this is a very unique time, and if you can get over during this time, like, people are going to remember you for it. Well, I mean, look, here's an extreme example of it, though. Like, look at like Benjamin Carter, right? Like, he just came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
uh and like I feel like he showed up, and then boom, all of a sudden, bam, he signed.
It took him like not even a month or two. It seemed like he just hit the scene real quick, and it didn't take any time for him to make his way to apparently NXT or
and,
WWE.
and that's sort of like the possibility right now, like, especially the way especially with the way AEW is doing things. You know, like with
Yeah.
you know, like look at KTB. He just got a look on Dark. You know, it was good,
Oh, he
real
looked
good,
good on Dark, man. I was excited to see him
real
on Dark
good.
because I got
I
familiar
mean,
with him through Game Changer and Fight. You know, that's how
yeah,
I got familiar with him. So to see him hit Dark I thought that was awesome.
absolutely. And like he's the kind of guy that, I could see them picking up, to do things on Dark every once in a
Dude, he's
while.
big. He's a big guy that can move, is good in the ring.
Yeah,
He's got the look. Yeah, I mean, he could be another. I mean, that's somebody that I think they should give a good look
yeah,
into. Myself, I honestly think that. So yeah, I would love to see him more on there myself too.
yeah, yeah, I mean, look at a guy like VSK. He was just on Dynamite
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
even though it was a squash to Spears, I mean, you're working
still,
national TV now. You're on
yeah,
national cable television.
they put him in that spot for a reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And like Will Hobbs, Will Hobbs is one of those guys too. He showed out. He showed out on Dark, and he was. Now look at him. He signed, and they're putting him. They were going to put him in a program until COVID kind of interfered with that.
they put
So
him super over too. Like they put him right
yeah.
in the program with like Moxley and all. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a perfect example of a big, huge guy, the guy that can grow and be one of the homegrown talents. They don't have to worry about finding old WWE guys that are big. They have he's one of their own guys they can come up with, and KTB could be that guy too. I would love to see that.
yeah,
So,
and they've done pretty good with having their own, like making their own kind of guy. Look at like Hangman Page,
mm-hmm.
Wardlow.
Wardlow's another one, man. He's from up in the Ohio area, so yeah, he's another big guy
Yeah,
that they get
um,
there.
And
freaking
he's about to. It's all about to come to a boil too with Wardlow
Mm-hmm.
in the next couple of months. We're about to see him in much more of a pronounced role, I think, in
Oh yeah, I
AEW.
think we're going to see him pretty much involved in an MJF Chris Jericho main event looking storyline pretty soon.
Emil, speaking
thinking
of,
maybe like I was thinking. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go
No,
ahead.
no, dude, go ahead, say
I
your
was
piece.
I was just gonna say something like it could be looking like a little Shawn Michaels Diesel
Mm-hmm.
type
That's a
thing
good
going on
comparison.
there.
Yes, that's I think when we talked about that, it was either me and Dom or my roommate and I talked about that and kind of compared it to that, where it's like, yeah, when Diesel was just his bodyguard for a little bit until like he broke away on his own and became a big star against him, and he could be that cat like opposition to put him to that point, to bring him to that level.
And
Yeah, and remember it was Diesel that was the baby face, so
Mm-hmm.
it would be Wardlow. I mean, how are you gonna cheer MJF? Come on, that ain't
and
a
in
thing.
2020, man, people will still find a way.
No way.
Oh
That
man, I was in Chicago. The only person in the section that was cheering MJF was me. My buddy next to me, Sean Ross Sapp was sitting next to me. He was cheering too, and MJF's dad was in front of us. So like the three of us were like the MJF cheering fan section in the
uh,
whole arena, basically.
there'll always be some sickos out there.
Yeah, dickheads like me
Yeah,
out there ruining it for everybody.
You
yeah,
know,
but they're always heel fans though. But
I
they
just
were
love
always
I love
outnumbered.
it. Yeah, I love a good
Yeah.
bad guy, man, and he has
Oh,
it,
me
dude.
too. When I was coming out too, I used to tell my uncle when I was a 10-year-old, I was like, yeah, I pop for the heels. And I was like, yeah, I obviously just read like a glossary of wrestling terms from like Headlock Harry in my local paper, my
Yeah.
local Sunday paper. Oh yeah, I pop for the heels. Like, yeah, what the
I was the
fuck does
same
that
way, man.
mean?
I was a kid. I was always cheering for Ric Flair. Every time he turned on Sting, I was always laughing. I like Sting too, but I was always
Dumbass.
led
Sting.
for the. I always was heavy on the heels, man. I loved them.
Yeah.
I
and you know
hated
what?
Hulk Hogan as a kid. I was never a
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan fan until the '96 Bash at the Beach turn, and then I was all in on Hollywood, man. I was a huge Hollywood Hogan fan. I hate Red and Yellow Hogan. Always did, even as a little child. Like I never, because that was my era. I was a little kid in the '80s, so I was like '83 to '89. That era. I was 6 years old in '89, and I never could get into Hulk Hogan even as a little kid, and that's what he was appealing to. And just even
Oh
at that
wow.
age, I was like, I like the bad guy. I want to see, Andre beat him up right here or whatever. But no such luck.
I feel like they always say that, especially back in the day, in the era that you're talking about, they always say that the people who on TV were the heels, ended up in real life being the nicest people when you come across them, and vice versa. The baby faces ended up being just the meanest people. And I always attributed that to the baby faces just being so tired of having to always sign autographs, always take pictures everywhere they go. Meanwhile, the heels get that emotional release of telling thousands of people to screw off and you all suck. And then they just, it's like a therapeutic massage. You come out of that and it's got to be like, you got to feel rejuvenated after that, you know? I don't know. I never told 20,000 people to go screw off, but there's still time.
It's gotta feel good. You can do it right now. Tell everybody to go fuck off right here.
You know, I
Use
did
your platform.
I did get booed by over 1,000 people at one time.
Oh, was that in Philly when we were together at the House of Hardcore show when you almost because they were booing? Oh no, was it Jay they booed when he almost got in the ring, or did he get in the ring with us?
He did get in the ring. I don't think any of us got booed that night.
Right.
I got booed because I was on student council in high school, and I got booed when I was giving speeches. So like the entire student, even people that were friends with me, but you know, mainly people that hated me. Over 1,000 people collectively. I'm a very controversial cat.
Wait, no. Oh, I know what it was. Mark. I think it was Mark that tried to slide under the ring at that House of Hardcore show, and he kind of like got caught on the bottom rope, and he didn't quite get through, and it was a "you fucked up" chant.
Maybe.
Yeah, because in my mind, I was like, when I hopped the rail to get in the ring to do the beer bash to celebrate with everybody, I was like, all right, act like you've been here, don't fuck this up. I was like,
you're telling this story as if Emil knows what the hell you're talking about.
So Dom and I met for the first time at a House of Hardcore show. We had front row seats. I think it was House of Hardcore 9, maybe.
It was it was like 2015, maybe.
Yeah, 8 or 9, and it was
one of the first ones.
The main event was Young Bucks versus the Dirty
early
Heels.
In the run.
Yeah, Young Bucks versus Dirty Heels, like Rude and Aries.
At the old ECW arena.
Yeah,
now
at
2,300.
And at the end of the night,
who are the dirty heels?
Yeah, Bobby Roode and Austin Aries.
Who are the dirty heels?
Yeah, that was fun.
That's a team? Where was that?
They were Impact, weren't they? Yeah,
for a little while too, I think.
Yeah, they were tag champions in Impact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so they
I
were the main
got
event.
Hooked up with Impact Plus, so I intend on watching.
Dude, there's some good shit.
None of the shit that we just talked about, but like stuff.
The old stuff's really good, man.
2002 to 2005.
I did that too when I had was it Global Wrestling Network when they did that. I went through and did the whole thing. I watched the weekly pay-per-view run up until they hit TV, and I enjoyed the shit out of that, man. But
oh yeah, I can't wait.
Dude.
I'm about to dive into that today.
That was my claim to fame, is I got to drink in the middle of the ECW arena in the middle of the ring with Sandman, the Young Bucks, Bobby Roode, and Austin Aries.
Emil, so we got ringside seats, and it's myself, my buddy Jay from up here, and Jay knew Cass, who's from North Carolina, who came up with his buddy Mark all the way from there just for this show. And
Mark does websites too. He reports for like Wrestling Inc. and like it used to be Lords of Pain. Now it's like Wrestling Headlines. Yeah,
Lords of Pain. Fuck
there you go.
Man. Oh, I used to write for them too when I was a kid back in the day, dude. So I've done this shit forever.
Absolutely. Anybody? Did you ever write for? Were you ever a contributor for Raja WWF?
Oh man, I know Raja though. I never wrote for him, but I know.
How's Raja doing?
We go way back, and I used to do ProWrestling.net back in the day, and all those sites back in the day, man. But yeah, so
Sushi X.
Oh, fucking Sushi X. That's another old one. I love that guy.
Mike Mikasa. Yeah, absolutely. All these guys. Anyway.
Yeah, Lords of Pain. They had that. They were like the first kind of like a blog kind of site, because they did that opinion news reel for a while, where it was just like people doing like blogs and shit. And that kind of really took off and made its own like wrestling blog thing. After that, it kind of became a hot thing. They kind of were trendsetting in that department. But yeah, that's how I met Dom, man. I drove up to Philly and went to a House of Hardcore show at the ECW arena and ran into him, and now look at us now.
But Emil, so my first interaction with this kid is I'm sitting next to him, and throughout this whole show, we're saying a few words to each other, but we don't really know each other. So, we're being polite, but we're not really like talking all that much. And at the end of the night,
just flirting.
Yeah, exactly. We're feeling each other out physically and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing where it goes.
So it's the end of the night. I believe it was playing live on Twitch or on something, but after the Twitch stream ended, Sandman comes into the ring with a case of beer, and again, it's the Young Bucks who don't drink beer, and the Dirty Heels in the ring, and now Sandman out of nowhere decides to lean over the ring rope, point directly at Cass, who I just met, and goes, "You get in the ring!"
And I'm confused. So I think, was it you that I looked at and says, "He talking to fucking me?"
Yeah.
I was like, "He fucking talking to me?" And you're like, "I think so." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking talking to you. Get the fuck in here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let's go." So I just hopped the rail, and I'm like, I'm making eye contact with the Atlas guy, the main Atlas guy with the mullet that's been at the ECW arena and every show.
Who's now AEW
Ron.
security
Joe? Is it Joe? Is his name Joe? Something
No,
like
I think
that.
it's Ron.
Ron, you know the guy I'm talking about, though, the main guy.
Yeah.
Looking at him, I'm like, "Oh fuck, is he gonna tackle me?" And he kind of just looks at me like, "These fucking kids." But he doesn't get up out of his seat, and I'm like, "All right, fuck yeah, he's not gonna get me." So then I'm like, "All right, get to the ring." I'm like, "Oh shit."
But then hold on,
Everybody's
before you move forward.
Yeah. So did you come with? Yeah.
As you're doing this, Sandman is telling the Young Bucks, "Go get people. Go get people." So the Young Bucks are like, all right. So they get out and they go grab his buddy Mark, and they grab, to my other side, my buddy Jay. So now this group of the four of us, except for me, get pulled into the ring by the guys that are there. And I'm sitting there like, are you freaking kidding me?
You should have just jumped, because I thought Sandman was waving everybody.
I almost did, because
I thought it was going to be one of those like ECW arena moments where like the ring's full of fans bouncing around and the fucking ring falls.
It was the kind of thing where I was like, you know what? Nobody brought me in, so it would look really amateur for me to just jump the rail right now. But then a split second later, I was like, screw it. All my friends are in the ring right now. Why am I not? So I stood up, and as soon as I stood up, that same dude, the security guy, like he stood up and looked at me. I was like, all right, I got it. I'll just take pictures of these guys while they're I'll give them a photo op.
I wouldn't have had pictures of it if you didn't. But
yeah,
dude, in my mind, I'm like, oh fuck, everybody's watching you. And I've been in a ring plenty of times because I promoted shows here in North Carolina, and I did like a little bit of schooling and training there with like Ricky and everybody down here and Chase. So I was like completely familiar with it. I'm like, oh, you're gonna fuck this up. So I was like, slide into the ring. Do I slide under the ropes, or do I just want to step through? I'm like, man, you're gonna fuck up if you try to slide. You're too fat for that shit. Just stand up, slide, walk in, act like you've been there before. And right as I'm stepping through, and Sandman's like throwing me 2 beers. I remember catching him. I looked down at Mark like stuck in the ropes, like trying to get through, and he was like bitching about it. He's like, fuck, I got hung up, man. God damn it. I hope nobody saw it. And then it's like a "you fucked up" chant breaks out. And he was so mad. And then I just remember after that, it was just wildness in the ring, like toasting people and Sandman pouring beer in everybody's mouth. And
you still held on to the.
I got the can behind me somewhere.
We were leaving the arena. And it was like half done. And the security guy was like, "Yeah, you can't leave with that beverage." And he goes, "Dude, Sandman gave it to me." And he looks at him, he goes, shit, all right, just pour it out.
Yeah, so I just poured it out and put it in my pocket.
No, I don't think you poured it out. He said either pour it out or just finish it real quick. I think I
just finished it. Yeah, I think I just finished it and then put it in my pocket. But yeah, that was fun. The Bucks, every time I would see them after that, like at shows or something, they would remember me, but they didn't know where they saw me from. So they had this moment of like, where do I know you from? And I was like, I drank your beer at the ECW arena. They're like, fucking beer bags. Yeah, you drank our beers. So now they remember me from that for forever. That's how they knew me, the guy that drank their beer in the ECW arena.
Yeah, but they willingly gave it to you because they're good Christian boys. They don't drink beers.
Yeah, they one of them took a sip. The other, I think Nick just sat it down on the floor, on the mat, and like that was it. But yeah, we shared a good laugh telling that story to each other when I ran into him in, I think, at Fighter Fest or whatever. But now every time I see him when I'm with like Jack and everybody, they're like, oh, you guys, I know what you're doing. Just give me shit for it, but whatever.
Emil, tell me more about Violence and Suffering, man. What's going on with that? Do you got shows coming up in the future?
Yeah, the next show is actually going to be at the aforementioned H2O Wrestling Center, same place. And it's going to be on Sunday, the 22nd of November, and it's going to be broadcast on Fight TV as well.
Wait, is that the Tremont show?
No.
It's not. No,
no, that's tomorrow. The Tremont show is tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Violence, Suffering, whatever. That was, they did. Too Cold Scorpio was on one of their shows recently, right? Or was that the?
he wrestled Jordan Oliver at
Oh, dude,
their
nice.
last event
I
on
love Jordan Oliver.
October 4th. Oh yeah, Jordan Oliver is like that's like one of my kids. Basically, I mean, like I was there for like his first match.
Oh shit,
So
nice.
you know,
I have that feeling
yeah,
with
and then
somebody
you
too,
know,
man. White Mike from the Gymnasty Boys. I saw his first ever match. So
oh yeah,
watching White Mike grow, I feel like a proud dad. I'm like, to see where you are today, son, makes me proud. Yeah.
But
So
see,
and then
he likes to brag about White Mike and how he knew him from his first match. But I knew White Mike since the early 2000s when he was slinging that rock on the Baltimore streets in The Wire. So me and White Mike go way, way, way back, way further than him and Cass.
yeah, that WMD.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
was
hell
hoping
yeah,
you were going to know what I was
Oh, I
talking about.
love it. I
I love
love
it.
that.
When
oh
I get a
yeah,
dog, I can't wait to get a dog so I can name him Avon Barksdale.
hell yeah, absolutely. Uh, I I love that show, man.
Oh,
That's
That's
it's
one of
one
the
of my
fucking
greatest
great.
favorites,
shows.
man.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the
Yeah,
greatest shows of all time, if not the greatest
yeah.
show of all time.
I
I'm
watch it
Italian,
Of course,
so
once or twice, once or every 1 or 2 years. I watch that show through.
yeah.
of course, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about Seinfeld, obviously.
Yes. Oh, we always get talking about Seinfeld on this. You segued perfectly into this. How many
Yeah.
Seinfeld references do we make in this fucking show?
Emil, here's a question. It's a two-part question. What is your favorite Seinfeld episode, and why is it Festivus?
Well, I mean, to talk about the Festivus episode, it's funny because like when we did actually a Dojo Wars show in I think it was 2014 or 2015. I forget what years it was. But it actually fell on Festivus. So I had one of my wrestlers come out, Dan O'Hare, and I had him do the whole spiel
Nice.
from
The airing of
from
grievances and the feats
The
of
airing
yeah.
strength.
grievances and the feats of
Yeah,
strength.
I got a lot of
I
problems
promise
with
you,
you
people.
people. Yeah, I had him cut that promo just
That's
so I could
awesome.
fucking, just so I could mark out. Like I was like, oh, do you know this? Do you know this? And he was like, oh, kinda. And I was like, well, pull it out on your fucking, get YouTube on your phone. You better. I want this. So
That's
yeah, the
great.
Festivus episode is great, but I gotta also show love. I don't know. Like I'm really partial to the episode where Kramer gets the set of the Merv Griffin show.
That's
We
my
talked
second
about
favorite
we
episode.
talked about this episode
Yeah.
ourselves on it. We go on tangents when we start talking about shit on this show, and we talked about that very episode numerous times. I think we've referenced that
Oh
one.
man,
That
Emil,
shit is
you
incredible.
just keep getting better and better.
I like the Titleist episode too. The
Hole in
scene
one,
was
huh?
mighty fierce that day.
Like an old man
Yeah.
trying to return soup at a deli. But dude, the Merv Griffin show. Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
So you and
What a
Jerry dated. Tell us about that.
he's like,
All
what are you
card.
talking
Walk
about?
hard. Oh, fuck.
So
We
good.
our running line is we'll fix it in post. And
Yes.
I think it stems back to Kramer saying that in the episode
Yeah.
to Newman. After that, he goes, "We'll fix that in post."
Mhm.
That's funny as shit. Anytime I hear like that, I feel like it's like my mind immediately goes to the fucking Bill O'Reilly losing his mind. I went,
Oh, I
we'll
forgot
do it
about that
live.
meltdown.
Oh fuck it, we'll do it live. But it's we'll do it in post. You know, like whatever. Now I'm starting to do my Norm Macdonald yell impression. You know,
The second you
yeah.
said that, I was like, "Damn, that does sound like Norm Macdonald."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only the funniest human being on earth, so
Oh,
I tend to
man.
pattern. Like now, it's to the point where Norm Macdonald is so influential in the way that I act that I only refer to, I guess, women as ladies, uh, because that's what he does, and I think it's fucking great. So
Is he your all time favorite SNL character?
uh, like, wait, character or just
Character
like guy
cast
on the
member.
Oh, I'm sorry, cast
cast?
member. Cast member.
I mean, he's my favorite comedian, so
Okay.
I guess by proxy, yes.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, his weekend update shit is legendary. All his OJ Simpson jokes.
Dude.
Come on.
If
Like,
I'm
come
here
on.
next week, because you'd make a joke. Did you about get fired for that? Yeah. Fucking love
Oh man, it's just so good. It's just funny. And then like of course like his jokes that don't really like have
it. They're
that are
so
not
dry,
jokes.
and
Yeah, yeah.
it's almost like they're only
But
funny to him, and that makes it even better to me. Because
Yeah.
it's like
yeah,
he's like telling a joke to like a 5-person audience that he really doesn't give a shit if you don't get it or not. It's just funny to him. He doesn't care.
His
yeah. I
delivery.
saw him live. I saw him live,
Oh
and
yeah.
I saw him live twice.
Oh, nice.
Actually, and both times I was in absolute tears.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge
Just
stand-up
just
fan, man. I love going to
because
watch stand-up
he
comedy.
Yeah.
doesn't get up there and do a routine. He's just
He just talks and
saying
rips.
Right.
shit
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's got to be annoying when you pay all that money to see a stand-up comic and you feel like you're seeing just them repackaging the same stuff you saw them do on Netflix. You
Well,
know?
a lot of times people are waiting for that bit, though. You know what I mean? Like, and they get mad when they don't do it. So it's like you have to do that shit too, because half the time
Yeah,
that's what the people came there to
Yeah,
see. You
I
know what I mean?
guess.
Yeah.
it's
Like
like
my
going
buddy,
to
I don't
see
know.
Ric Flair and he doesn't get body slammed off the top rope.
Yeah,
You know?
or he does do the figure four at one point, or his ass doesn't come out because he would when I in Nashville he would always like have his trunks pulled down and show half his ass. That was like the
Yeah.
thing at the house
When I
shows.
get to Nashville, first time I get to Nashville, I'm mooning someone. It's gonna be a thing. Whenever I'm in Nashville, someone's getting mooned.
Well, I mean, good because if you were in Asheville, it might be a different. And if you can do that in Nashville, if you do that in Asheville, it might be a different reaction people give you.
Yeah, dude.
Asheville.
Yeah, if you start pulling your ass out in Asheville, dude, you might have a boyfriend by the end of it.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I didn't think that's the way you were gonna
There's a
go with it.
Seinfeld. I just Seinfelded you again. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I have many friends who are gay. My father's gay.
That's totally where I was going and setting that up for it. Like, God, I hope I can tie this Seinfeld into this quickly, and I did it. Yes.
We'll wrap it back around to Seinfeld then, because I don't want to keep harping on it, but with the Festivus episode, in my parents' house, they in the driveway. Basically, since I was born, we had a basketball net set up with like a pole coming out of the ground. And one year, a trash truck or a trash picker came by and like knocked over the extension part for the backboard. So we just pulled the like excess arm of the metal down, and now it's just a pole sticking out of the ground in cement. So every year, the night before Festivus, I visit my parents, and I put up a single like cardboard sign that says "Happy Festivus, let's rumble," and that's it.
Like,
Nothing else. No tinsel.
somebody in
Oh
your
yeah.
No
neighborhood
tinsel. I find
appreciates
tinsel
that.
distracting.
So
But
there's
yeah,
gonna be at least one or two people in your
Good
neighborhood
shit.
that just look forward to that every fucking year. They're like, I can't wait for the Festivus sign to get put up again. Is he gonna do it this year? And the year you don't do it, there's gonna be like 5 people that are so crushed.
one year in Festivus, I was at my parents' house, and I actually was like just hanging out with my dad later. I waited for him to fall asleep, and then I filmed myself. I got on top of him and pinned him.
Ah,
And then I sent it to my brother. I said, Festivus is over.
That's it. That's how you win Festivus. Shit.
oh shit, you got him.
But I'm glad that we had you on here to exclusively talk about Seinfeld. Why don't we
Let's
talk
talk
more
about old
about?
wrestling. Let's talk about some old shit, man. Let's talk because that's all me and you talk about really is old WCW episodes and shit when you and I bullshit on Twitter or whatever it seems like.
Sure. Well, I mean, Emil, you're kind of a historian when it comes to just wrestling archives in general. When you're not watching the stuff that you're involved in or the stuff that's local to you, what do you like to just unwind with?
Oh man, I can be a really moody kind of guy, and I don't mean it in like the bad way. Like I just get on kicks.
Yeah.
So like right now, um, I like most recently I've been watching a little bit of battle arts, a little bit of lucha. I'm really big on some lucha libre right now.
Mm.
I really like the way that luchadors approach wrestling. Is very inventive in terms of the submissions and arm drags and dives and just all sorts of things that they do. Um, but I like that. And right now, I've been kind of thinking about delving into some what is it? I guess IWA East Coast. A bunch of that has just been unloaded on IWTV lately. I kind of want to jump into that. That's always been an interesting promotion. Of course, there's a bunch of battle arts on IWTV. Wild Side, I've been wanting to get into as well. Of course,
Is that the old NWA Wild Sides from?
yeah,
Oh,
old
dude, that's my
NWA
area.
Wild Side.
Dude, I went
Nice.
to a bunch of those. I went to a bunch of those. Cornelia, Georgia is only like an hour and a half away from my house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah. Like they have like the first like 70 episodes of the TV up or some shit like that. And then, of course, like, there's always like WCW is like comfort food. Like if
Right.
I don't know like what I want to do, like the ultimate comfort food in terms of wrestling for me is like anything WCW, like anything. I don't care if it's even like bad 2000 WCW. No, I'm gonna laugh my ass off at
I
that
love
shit.
2000
Like,
WCW.
yeah, I think it's great. And then also, like 1995 WWF is just the pinnacle of the sport, in my opinion. I love it so much. Uh,
Would you say you're a Bret Hart fan?
a big time. He's my
My
number
man.
3 favorite professional wrestler. No, number 4. I'm sorry.
All right, well, who's 1, 2, and 3 then? If he's number 4, I gotta know now.
Okay, my working top 5 from bottom up, so starting from 5 all the way up to 1. Number 5 is Too Cold Scorpio. Number 4 is Bret Hart. Number 3 is Rey Mysterio Jr. Number 2 is John Cena, and number 1 is the Enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Oh, that's a solid
Ooh.
list.
And it's diverse too.
It is. I love that you got John Cena in there. Everybody hates on me for being a fucking John Cena fan. I absorb it. It makes my beard grow thicker and fuller. That hatred, that's what it does. It just fuels the growth of my beard.
I am nourished by your tears.
Yeah, I love it. So no, that's a solid list, man.
Thank you,
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah.
I just
Too Cold Scorpio.
to...
I love hearing that. I love hearing him at the top and breaking that top 5, man.
Oh my God, he's so incredible. Like he's been like, and a big thing with me is like longevity, and like consistency. If you notice, like, okay, so like Rey Mysterio Jr. has been consistently great for like 30 years. So has Too Cold Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart always was at a high level. I mean, he was always consistently good. You could always count on him to have a good match. And
for
then, like,
honestly, a long period of years as well. People forget that he had so much time in the Calgary scene and the territory system before that. I mean, he was doing it for like 10, 15 years before he was even on TV.
He was wrestling really, really good matches in Stampede and New Japan before even breaking into the World Wrestling Federation in 1984. So I mean, yeah, he was at it for a long time. And this, look at John Cena consistently as a main event draw for so long as he was. Like, God damn.
Without having to change it up.
Right, like he just went through it, and it was always consistently delivering. And the same Arn Anderson, like there's no, like he's the most, like, to me, like he's the best promo. You look at him and he's like, wow, this is a believable professional wrestler. I feel like that guy is tough. Like I wouldn't want to piss that guy off if he's at the end of the bar. He's gonna fuck me up. Like, and he can do so many different things in the ring, different, little things.
And out of the ring now.
Sure. Yeah, doing his managerial shit on AEW and agenting and all that.
Yeah, agenting and producing in the back too. He's just such a valuable. It's just the center of the learning tree of Arn Anderson. Yeah, okay.
I'm really, I mean, I mean, I guess I get why they WWF got rid of him, because that whole thing with was Alicia Fox or
Yeah, it was
something like
Alicia
that.
Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Dom's looking at
whatever.
me confused. So she came to the ring intoxicated at a house show, and Arn Anderson was apparently the agent for the match and didn't stop her, so he had to
Oh.
fight for it.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
Arn Anderson, it's
It is what it is. Back in the old days, just worked through a good drunk, So
yeah, man.
yeah,
Shit.
that's what you did in the old days. Shit. Oh well. But
Well,
yeah,
all right.
no.
I got to ask you because we're actually a little bit behind on our watch-alongs, our recordings, but we've been doing a weekly Halloween Havoc watch-along for October, and we did 92, 96. Tonight, after this, we're actually recording 1998 to put up immediately, and then on Halloween we're going to do 1999. But of all of the years, which one was your personal favorite?
I want to say that Halloween Havoc 96, I think, is the one that I would choose to be my number one. Halloween Havoc, I mean, there's a lot of strong Halloween Havocs. I like 97, I like 98. I like 90. Was 93
That
the
was
one with
Cactus Jack
Austin?
and
That's Cactus Jack and Vader, and
But yeah, who did Stunning Steve wrestle on that show?
that was
Was it
Dustin.
Dustin?
Does Dustin Rhodes? I
Or,
think I'm gonna Google that.
no, that was Starcade,
Okay.
maybe.
he
They
was in a
might.
tag
They're
match in '92. Havoc.
Yeah, because there was this
Halloween
piece.
Doctor
Havoc
Death.
90.
Yeah, he was
Halloween
pieced
Havoc
into that because somebody quit
91.
right before.
91, you
Halloween
Actually,
said?
Havoc
Halloween.
91 was Austin and Dustin, I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah, 92. They put Dustin in. Terry Gordy quit the day of that pay per view, so that was they just pieced him together on that one.
Yeah, it was the
93.
Steve Williams connection.
Yeah, Doctor. Yeah. Let's see who was on that 93 card. Hang on. Who did he
Well,
wrestle?
let me rephrase it like this: if you could only
No,
pick
it was Dustin
one.
Rhodes and Steve Austin in 93. They wrestled again, I
Okay.
guess,
Okay.
for the
Okay.
United States title.
Yeah. That was always a good match.
Yeah.
Well, now if you could only pick one as a Desert Island pay-per-view, which one would you take with you?
Every pay-per-view?
No. Of the Halloween
Or
Havocs, you could only
Halloween
watch
Havoc.
one for the
Okay.
rest of your life. Which one would you do? Which one would you pick?
I guess 96.
96?
Nice.
It was a good card. You had
Yeah.
so many future Hall of Famers stacked up on that card. It was ridiculous.
Man,
Yeah.
I forgot about this 93 card looking at it while you guys are just sitting there. Like Sting and Vicious had a rematch on that one from Halloween Havoc 90. Rick Rude beat Ric Flair by disqualification for the international world title.
Davey Boy Smith was on that card. Didn't he wrestle Steven
Steven
Regal?
Regal.
Yeah.
And Orndorff and Ricky Steamboat
Yeah.
were on it. And Nasty Boys versus Marcus Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah. Good show.
Ice Train, Charlie Norris, and the Shockmaster opened against Harlem Heat as Cole and Kane before they were Booker T and Stevie Ray, and the Equalizer, Dave Sullivan.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sign me up
dude.
for that one too. I'm in.
That's
for
a
that
solid
one too.
year.
Did either of you guys happen to watch the NXT's Halloween Havoc that was on last night?
No.
I watched a little bit of it.
What'd you think?
I watched NXT or AEW.
Yeah, I watched AEW first and then went back and watched NXT on DVR.
Well, then screw it. Screw it. Let's talk about AEW. What'd you guys think of AEW last night? Because that was a good show. I watched that.
It was good. They didn't win the ratings today. I saw that.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't going to.
No.
Let's see. What did I? Let's see. Wardlow and Hangman Page was a good match.
It's a real good match.
I really liked the conclusion of the match with the two lariats or whatever, and Wardlow looked like he was kind of kicking out at the end, but not really. I like that. I liked Serena Deeb and Layla
Oh
Hirsch. Very
man, Layla
good.
is fun to watch, dude. I think
Sure
they need to
is.
sign her and put her on Team Taz.
Mm, I
Yeah,
agree.
she's
That would be
great.
great.
One
Hmm.
of my Dojo Wars kids.
Oh yeah,
I love to see that. Yeah, I love it. Um,
that's got to be
let's
awesome
see.
to see those people,
Yeah,
really up on the national level, just doing their thing, knowing that you had a hand in that.
yeah. I mean, MJF came through there. Wheeler, Utah, doing his thing in ROH.
Yeah.
A handful of guys out there doing their thing, just to name a few.
Yeah, that's how I am
Uh,
with Cash, like Cash Wheeler, man. He's from Asheville, so I've known him since he's first started. So I got to watch, and then he did Wildside too. So I got to see him go through NWA
yeah,
Wildside back in the day, and then it was Anarchy after that, I think, or whatever it was called after they closed down and kept running. But yeah, I like watching those
yeah,
guys that come up and do good things now. It's fucking awesome, man. I didn't realize
yeah.
Layla, though. I didn't
I'm
realize
pretty
she was
cool
in
with.
Dojo Wars.
Oh yeah. That's where she got her start.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Dojo Wars. And to your point about like Cash, like I'm cool with Dawson.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
He lives in
fucking.
Asheville now. Apparently, I didn't even know
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
His
We have a tentative. Meeting over some tequila. Yeah.
Oh, dude, same. They invited me to Jacksonville to have tequila, to drink some of the rock tequila with them.
Yes,
We're gonna do
yes.
it.
I'm definitely gonna take him up on that offer once you know we are out of this scourge,
Yeah.
If
this hellscape that we are currently in.
if he invites you to take that tequila at his house, take him up on it, because when we interviewed them a while back, whatever room he was in, his
Look at
view
his
looked
kitchen.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
That was his kitchen.
Yeah, it looked like his kitchen. He said, I think he was at the break, like the kitchen table or breakfast table or something like that.
Wherever he
Yeah, I
was,
don't
man,
doubt it.
it would look gorgeous. You
Yeah.
see the trees behind him, and look like he was just that house just looks like it was like cut into the mountains. Looks
Yeah, he
beautiful.
probably lives like 20 minutes from me, if I had to guess, because I know where he's at exactly. And it's the same thing. Edge lives there. He lives there. It's such a nice place to live, man. If you ever
Yeah,
come
I would
down.
think so. Want to get
So,
on that
I mean,
WWE money?
oh yeah,
shit.
But
you ain't
What?
doing bad. That's for certain.
No, not at all. What else happened on AEW last night? So,
Oh, Eddie Kingston and Matt
oh,
Sydal, nice
fuck, man.
match.
Those
that's
Eddie
what I
Nice
Kingston
wanted.
promos.
match.
Dude, that's what I wanted to ask you
Yeah,
earlier, Emil. He's a relatively local guy. He had a
yeah.
lot of shows in the area, so you and I have both been able to be blessed to see him for a long time before the past few months. But how do you feel about the push that he's been getting, and now the main event shot that he's getting at the next pay per view?
I think it's the best thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he was like one of the big things that made me really enjoy the NWA Power.
Yep.
Okay.
This time last year, he was a real big force in me enjoying that. I think Eddie Kingston's time in a major promotion is long overdue. And it's clear that he is making the best of this situation right now because every time he steps up to bat, he hits a home run. Uh, you know, I feel there was one promo that was weird, like uh, like early on,
Yeah.
some like in-ring promo
The
and
one where he's
like
yelling about were their family and you kind of didn't understand what he was talking about and they were fighting,
something.
where everybody was kind
Yeah,
of fighting in
yeah,
the ring and he's
yeah.
trying to explain their brother, like how they're all friends, but without really explaining to you how they're all friends and
Right, right.
peacekeeping.
That
Yeah, that
was
was a little weird, but even that
that
was a
was a
good
weird one.
promo.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
However, everything else has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And his matches are always good. I fucking like the way he wrestles a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
I
His stuff
would.
on BTE is even good too. I love the
yeah,
like promo
promo
class they
school.
had him doing,
Oh,
promo school,
But
which is such a
oh
good
no.
jab at how like they wanted him to come into NXT to do that too, and like that's
Right.
all they wanted him to do. So I just love that they have that.
Oh yeah, that's all. But that's all they do on that show, right? That's the show where they take jabs at WWF.
Yeah, the little YouTube series they do
And
weekly.
like
Right.
every week, it's just like, oh, let's make fun of WWF, how they did something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking corny. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't like any of those guys. Like, oh yeah, I was about to say, like, and then it got to be like, the main event, and then like, I think Kenny Omega is the biggest fucking dork I've ever seen in pro wrestling. Like, ugh.
Those guys never hang out with me when I'm at AEW. Like,
Why would you want to hang out
They
with
never
them?
come and hang out with us, man.
Why would you want to hang out with them?
Yeah.
Come on, they don't fucking party. They
don't.
Cool.
That's what I was getting at. They don't hang out with us.
They don't do anything cool.
Well, that's kind of what I was alluding to when I mentioned them earlier. When how they would see me hanging out with like my buddies that work on the roster, like, oh, I know what you guys are doing. Just kind of like, yeah, I know what you guys are gonna go do, and then they'll just go do their own thing. But
yeah, go ahead. Fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't even know Kenny lived in North Carolina until they announced that. Until they make it out, they've been driving that point home for some reason on his introduction. But I didn't even know he lived in North Carolina
because it's all leading. It's all him and Adam Page shit. It's all of that is. Oh God.
Because Hangman's from near my area too. He came up in this area doing stuff with us out here in the Western North Carolina, Virginia area. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But
yeah, Hangman's cool. I like him. I like watching him wrestle.
I've drank some whiskey with him at an after party. He's cool.
Yeah, I think he's a good wrestler. I like to watch him do his thing. But yeah, like I don't know, like a lot of AEW, like they're like quote like their mainstays or like the established guys they came in the game with. Like I don't think they're cool at all. Like they're all lame. Jericho and fucking the Bucks and Kenny. They're all lame. They all do lame shit. But like I like fucking Kingston and FTR and like Ray Phoenix, Darby Allin.
Phoenix is great,
dude. I was just about to say
Phoenix. Yeah,
I freaking love Ray Phoenix, man. He's probably
he's so good.
Yeah, and
he's so creative,
and he's such a nice guy too. When we hung out, Dom, you met him, and you met
kayfabe, bro, kayfabe. But yeah, man. As far as in ring goes, oh my god, every single time,
so
like I think he's the only male wrestler that I don't care who he's wrestling. If he's wrestling, I want to say it. And
yeah, absolutely.
It's the same with Thunder Rosa and with Akira Shida. Anytime they're wrestling, for whatever reason, any of them, any of those three.
I can see that. I name like who else? Like Scorpio Sky.
Oh yeah,
Scorpio.
Another one.
Awesome.
Easy guy to watch.
His theme music is quickly becoming my favorite AEW theme music too.
Like Scorpio Sky is like, I like Scorpio Sky so much. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch this program with Sean Spears.
Right.
Like what? I don't care about that guy, but I like Scorpio Sky. I don't know.
Oh, I love Scorpio Sky, man. He's so much fun to watch in the ring, and he's a good dude too, man. Like, I love talking movies and TV with him. Like we went off on a 30-minute tangent about too. I did that with him for hours in Baltimore. We were talking about movies and shit when we hung out last year at Full Gear. So he's a good dude, man. I like seeing him do good things.
Yeah, I got
Kazarian. I like watching Kazarian too, man. I love Daniels and Kazarian. They're awesome fucking guys too, man.
The whole SCU is good.
I was at an ROH show at the 2300 arena, and it was Christopher Daniels was giving his like goodbye to ROH, and my buddy that I was with went to like grab a drink from the bar, and I wanted to stay to hear the speech, and he goes, "Yo, come to the bar right now." I was like, "Nah, dude, I don't want to miss this." He goes, "Seriously, come to the bar right now." So I come back, and Kaz and Sky are at the bar just hanging out with him and like the two other people that were at the bar. So we ended up just like, just shooting the breeze with them. I was talking to Kaz about Gutter Candy, his band that he's in. And,
neat.
Yeah, we drank till 5 a.m. at an after party with Kaz and Scorpio. Like Kaz and I were drinking whiskey from the bottle like Jack Daniels and like cheersing because I had my own half gallon in my backpack because he was going to hand me some of the bottle that he stole from the table that was like the community bottle. And he was like, "Oh, here, pull from this." I'm like, "Dude, I got you. Hang on." And just pulled my half gallon out of the backpack. And he was like, "Oh, it's fucking like that." Clank. And then we were just like getting shitty. It was all in front of Tony Khan too. Yeah. All in front of Tony. It was a good time. It was fucking awesome.
Dude, it's crazy to think.
Tony likes those White Claws, I think. Right?
Dude, Tony likes tequila as well because I watched Tony buy me a lot of shots of tequila in Chicago. He bought a shitload of them. He gets drunk. I've gotten drunk with Tony a few times at these after parties. Dude, he's a lot of fun.
Nah, good. For
Yeah,
him.
he's a guy, man. One thing I like.
Good for you.
Everybody gives him shit, man. He's fun to talk to about wrestling, man. That's the thing is he loves this shit.
Yeah,
he can tell you his favorite
like,
Rock and Roll Express match. You know what I mean? And tell you everything
yeah,
about
but
the match.
He never traded tapes with me. So
oh yeah.
I feel like if he would have known the kind of stuff that I had in my collection, I might have had a job right now. But
man, that's true.
You probably liked my collection.
I was going to say you have quite an extensive collection. If you, I mean, I know we're pushing an hour now, which seems ridiculous. It does not seem like we've been talking for over an hour already.
I just never get into the good stuff. I like tape trading days, man. I did all that shit back in the day, man.
And you know what?
Tape trading.
We can wrap it up, but before we do, I really did want to ask you about that because Cass did mention to me very briefly that you have a pretty extensive archive yourself. Could you talk a little bit about that? Maybe what you have?
Yeah, I was telling him about that worldwide archive that I was like jealous as shit that you have access to. Where you can watch all the old WCW worldwides, man.
Oh yeah.
See, I didn't want to put anything on blast, but.
No.
We talked about that on Twitter. He talked about it on Twitter one day. That's how I found out. Was everybody was like, oh. Because we were talking about worldwide, and everybody's like, "Talk to Emil; he'll tell you all about it," and tag you in it. And I was like, "Oh shit, what's up with that?"
Because I'm such a like history buff myself too, and I always, say what you will about Jim Cornette, but I would love to just take a walking tour through his like collection that he has.
Absolutely. I think he's great. He says a lot of things, but I agree with some of them. I disagree with some of them, but he's very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. And he's got an extensive collection of stuff that I would love to look at.
But your extensive collection. What are some things that you'd like to brag about?
Yeah, man, I want to hear some of your gems that you've got in that wrestling database of shit that you can pull out and watch anytime.
Well, I mean, it depends on like what kind of like medium we're looking at here. Like I've got stuff that's on like I got tons of VHS, I got DVDs, I got Blu-rays, I got stuff on external hard drives and stuff. It's just ridiculous, and I'm always searching for more stuff.
What's the most dated? What's the oldest archival footage that you have in your personal collection?
I have. I mean, like. Let's see, because like I also consider like what I have like access to like on YouTube and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, sure.
And Google Drives and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
it all counts.
I could log on to this one Google Drive and look at some like the earliest shot wrestling matches, which is like
really?
A couple like a minute or two worth of like silent film clips and stuff like that.
But that's cool though. That's the kind of stuff
it's very interesting to look at, but you're not really going to get a big idea of like who these guys are and what they can do. And the sport itself was really different too, because these guys were like making sure they weren't like gonna shoot on each other and shit. Like it's, still had a lot of that element involved there. But in terms of like, okay, so like over the years, like I've just always been a fan of collecting wrestling footage. I remember being at an independent wrestling show at Atlantic City High School back when I was a kid in 1999. And I went to the gimmick table and I saw Super J Cup 94 on VHS. And I was like, oh my God, I need to own this. And I like ran to my parents and I was like, I need $15 for a videotape. It's stuff like that. I would be at like random indie shows and I would get to like get a tape.
Right.
Oh, this is cool. Because from the moment I kind of got on the internet and started poking around, I found myself on rec.sport.pro-wrestling. RSPW for short. I'm looking around at like these guys like, oh, I got this tape and that tape. I'm like, oh, who are like, what do you mean you have these tapes? And then like you find John McAdams' tape website and like, oh my God, this guy's got all this wrestling like that like you could order on tape. Well, like I never ordered anything because like I was like 10. What I mean? I can't be I was 10 years old in 1997. I can't be saying to my parents, oh, can I order $18 tape, off the internet? Like, that's just not gonna fly. I know that.
Yeah.
But eventually, by going to indie shows, I guess started, to I would pick up a tape here and there, and then I would tape stuff off TV here and there, and then I would like rent videos from the video store and record them. Shh, you're not supposed to do that. The FBI is gonna get me, but like
They'll knock
whatever.
your door down tomorrow if you say it too loud.
Yeah, no, I actually have a ton of like actual like commercial copies like in the actual like boxes and stuff that they come in like because I would like buy them off of eBay. Eventually like then eBay became a thing, and then like there was triplecrowntapes.com that I bought some Japanese wrestling tapes off of. So and then eventually it was like, oh, I found this like website that I could like trade tapes. Oh my goodness.
My God, I
Okay,
remember
so
that day. I remember finding a tape trading database, dude. It was
what?
holy shit. That was awesome. When I was in late '90s, man, going into that rabbit. That was. I found my box of it. I found a box like 200 VHSs the other day, and it was like old FMW shows and death matches and like old lots of Terry Funk and all types of good shit from back in the mid '90s when it was just terrible quality too. Because it'd been ripped so many times and it was just so grainy and so terrible. But that's how I grew up watching wrestling, man. Yeah.
And
it
then,
adds a different feel to it when you're watching it like that. Maybe it adds to the nostalgia, but it seems better that way. Yeah.
Feels different. Yeah, it's like gritty.
Mm-hmm.
But like I guess like some of my favorite shit to like really really answer your question is like okay, so a couple of things. I have almost a complete run of Ring of Honor DVDs from 2002 through 2007.
That's awesome.
Which that's like the top row of my like DVD shelf. It's in my bedroom.
They should be hard to get because some of those are expensive because of the limited circulation.
A lot of them are, especially like the early shit.
Like, isn't there one like very rare CM Punk like collection, like Second City Sane or something like that? That's like hundreds of dollars if you try to buy it online or something.
Maybe. I never really fucked with the compilations.
Okay.
Like I was always a full event. I would always just buy the full event and watch a full show. I wouldn't skip matches. I wouldn't skip ahead. Like I'm watching a full show.
Right.
I've always kind of been that way. Nowadays, I don't even like to look at match lists. Just throw a show on and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like playing roulette. It's fun.
Exactly.
You get some stinkers sometimes, man. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, sometimes, but
those matches can be some of the most fun too.
That's what the next match button is for on the WWF network. Oh yeah, it's a stinker. Okay, next match. Oh yeah, okay. If you get 3 stinkers in a row, you got to change shows. Like that's just the rule. 3 strikes and you're out. But like normally you can find at least a little something in there, like some guy. You're like, oh yeah, I want to see what that guy does. Usually, but
that's like my. Go ahead.
I was gonna say between that stuff and then I got hooked up with this guy from California in like 2003 or 2004 when he was getting rid of his he was very early in getting like converting his, maybe he wasn't very early, but maybe he was, I don't remember how time works, but like he was converting his VHS collection into DVD.
Okay.
And he made a post about it on the Kayfabe Memories message board. And I saw it and I was like, hey man, I want to buy the tapes. Like, so we made a deal where he would like when he would, as soon as he was done converting like a box worth of tapes, and a box worth of tapes was like 30 or 45 tapes maybe.
From
He would
California, cross
from
country.
California cross country. He would pack them up in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And he would send them to me, and I would just it was a lot of TV. It was a lot of television stuff
Sure.
from WWF and WCW from the '90s into the early 2000s, and it was just a real quick and easy way to get a bunch of that kind of stuff. Like because everybody had the whole like, oh, they have pay-per-views and Clash of the Champions. Okay, yeah, that's everybody's got that shit. This guy was having TVs, like so.
Yeah.
This is where I was getting my. This is where I was getting a lot of like my like TV, like Saturday Night Worldwide, some pros from like '92 into '93.
Sure.
And then on eBay, I got hooked up with somebody who's now he's like my second best friend in the world, my homie Bobby Beauchene. He runs the Consumer Time Capsule on Twitter. That's a plug for him at Consumer TC. Also on YouTube, he posts like old commercials and product reviews, like grocery store item, food stuff, I guess, snacks and stuff. Anyway, whatever the fuck. I won an auction for like a WCW Worldwide 1995, like 6 episodes on a VHS tape. So I messaged him and I was like, hey man, do you have more of these? Do they have commercials in them? And like he's like a big like commercial guy like me, and he was like,
Okay.
oh yeah, so we're basically like best friends now. So like
That's
we
cool.
hooked up through there, and I just bought like all the WCW like TV stuff that he had,
Okay.
and that's how I got like all my like WCW stuff from like WCW TV from like 95, 96, which is like the weekend TV stuff, the worldwide stuff.
I grew up on that shit, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
There was like 3
Good
shows.
stuff.
There was Saturday Night, Main Event, Worldwide, and I think there was another one too.
Okay, so WCW there was Pro, Worldwide, Main Event, Power Hour, Nitro, Saturday Night, Thunder.
Forgot about Power Hour.
Power Hour was Saturday morning and Friday night when I was a kid.
Friday night.
And then they moved it to 9:05 on Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
they moved it to that. Yeah, early 90s. And then Pro, Worldwide, Main Event, Saturday night.
Yeah, they had mad shows. It was awesome. I loved it.
WCW, and you can see a lot of like, you see so many people come through there that are
so many different guys. And their matches would be all fucking random and different. It was like they had their whole roster on scramble mode. It was great.
Yeah. I love
those. Never knew who we were going to see.
I popped on an old episode of Saturday Night the other day, and I saw Big Sky, and that was Taylor Maine, the guy that was Michael Myers and the Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Sabretooth and the X-Men, like that guy. So I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this guy. And then the guy that was Bane, Jeep Swenson, yeah, he shows up every now and then. He was Bane in Batman. Was it Batman Forever or Batman and Robin? Whichever one it was.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, so he was in that. So I love watching like guys like that pop up. And yeah, I grew up to WCW, man. It's my favorite shit ever, man. I can talk
WCW fucking rocks.
Well, that was all that came through North Carolina. WWF never came down here, ever.
Oh, we got a little cameo from the kitty.
Yeah, Tyson jumped up to hang out.
If you're watching us on YouTube, you got a nice shot of pretty little Tyson.
About to see up to business, and I'm about to show that butthole to the world like he always does. Fucking cat.
Cam girl shit.
Dude, he's about to turn and point his butthole straight at the fucking webcam.
That might be time for us to.
That's about. Is this the cue to wrap it up?
That might be the cue. We're like close to an hour and a half, but dude,
yeah,
this was an awesome time. I had so much fun talking with you, man. We would love to have you back on whenever you're free.
Oh yeah, whenever, man. I just like to show up and talk about wrestling and stuff.
Same.
Like, whenever.
That's all we do.
Dude, when I go to visit Dom in Philly, man, we should all get up, dude. You're not too far from him, I don't think. Probably a lot closer to me. So,
dude, AC is like an easy drive.
Yeah,
easy drive from Philly.
Yeah, and especially
they built an expressway just for it.
And
Yeah,
you
they
might be
sure do.
going to Jersey more often if everything passes on Thursday or whatever in the election, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's looking that
I'm
way. I
gonna be
mean, 'cause
going.
I
I'm gonna
feel
be coming
like
up to visit and making a trip to Jersey, especially. Fuck that.
honestly, I feel like that's the only reason why we elected this guy Murphy, the governor, because he said he was gonna do it, and he didn't do it yet. Because but
Yeah,
I mean, I think we're ready for it. I think the legislature done did something with it. I don't know. I tend
I
not to
can't
pay
wait.
attention to that stuff, adult stuff, because it
Yeah,
bums me out. But hopefully, everybody votes correctly. I think even my old man, who does not, I think even my old man was like, "Yeah, man, let's vote for the pot." So,
yeah.
uh,
I hope they definitely vote that in. That'll make my trips up north to the Northeast a
yeah,
lot more fun.
I'm
yeah.
so glad you said that, Emil, because it's funny. I was going to mess with you, and as soon as we started recording, I was going to say, "All right, first question: who you voting for?"
Oh man,
Nah,
I
but
wish I could. I wish I could vote myself off the island. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I
know.
don't want to survive here anymore. I want to go.
Dude, it's weird, man. I feel like reality is looking more like the Twilight Zone than the Twilight Zone at this point.
Yeah, please take
But
me there. I want to go there.
listen, before we wrap up, can you plug everywhere that our listeners can find you before we let go?
Yeah, I think everything is the same thing at the Emil Jay TheEmiljay. That's I'm mostly active on Twitter. My Twitter sucks. Uh I think it sucks, but people like it. So I
No,
just
man. If
be
you like to
going on
talk
there.
wrestling, it's a good place to go.
Yeah,
And
man. I just like to get on there and get buck wild, talk about wrestling. Sometimes I get a little crazy. Uh, oh well. I also talk about battle rap because I like that stuff too. And that's fun.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, I'm a little active on Facebook sometimes, a little bit on Instagram sometimes, not really. But yeah, Twitter's like my bread and butter. Uh, and yeah, I'm probably gonna go on there a little bit once I turn on some kind of whatever something I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna probably tweet about it because that's
Well,
what life is
yeah, man. We'll
at this
tweet it. We'll
point.
tweet this out here in a little bit too. We'll
Hell
tag
yeah.
you everything and plug you and all that good shit.
well, Emil, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have a blast tomorrow at the Nick Tree or Nick at the Matt Tremont. See, I can't plug anybody, man. I can't do
We gotta take you
Well,
to
no,
plug
see, here's
school.
the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna save you on this one. So this weekend is the Matt Tremont retirement slash Danny Havoc deathmatch memorial champion tournament. And next weekend is the Nick Gage Invitational.
There it
So
is.
there's your
There we
Nick
go.
there's your Nick Tremont there. Boom.
There
And
we
There
go.
you go.
the Tremont show this weekend is sold out, but you can catch it, and you can catch Emil's commentary on IWTV, correct?
Yes, sir. I don't know if I'm doing the whole show. If anything, I know I'm doing Tremont versus Ricky Shane Page. I know he's got a whole crew of guys that handle the majority of their events. I used to be there on a more regular basis, but my schedule did not allow it, and he's got that nice training school that's pumping out not only wrestlers but referees and managers and announcers too. So they
That's
gotta
awesome.
get they reps in. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, I will be there to lend my voice for at least that retirement match.
So humble, man. So humble. If you catch the main event of the show this weekend for Matt Tremont's retirement match, you will be listening to the voice of Emil Jay, who is
Oh, yeah.
lending his services to the historic final match, the retirement match for Matt Tremont this weekend. Catch it on IWTV. And
Yeah, that's a good show. Yeah, you can plug shit. Hell yeah.
There you
You
go. He's
good.
getting better.
I
It's all
try.
practice. He's got to get
There
get
you
some reps
go.
in.
Gotta get the dust
You
off,
got
but
it.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate it. But listen, hopefully this is the first of many appearances on the show for you, and just dude, have so much fun tomorrow, and we'll be listening.
All right,
Hell
and you
yeah,
go.
man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And you guys, you can find me on Twitter as well at Casshole with 3 O's, CASSHOOOLE. The website, bodyslam.net. You can find us at bodyslamnet on Twitter. Dom, where can we find you, buddy?
Bodyslam_pod on Twitter. I'm also Dom_Mallon, MALLON on Twitter, but you're more likely to catch me with smoke signals or carrier pigeons. So
That's true.
that's the best way to get me. I'm old school. Emil, thank you so much again. And
Cheers.
we'll take you out with our award-winning outro. Podcast with Cass, Dom, and Emil. The push.